Msimango. Thank you so much for taking the time to addressing our students and for sharing your expertise. So Dr. Jabulile is an entrepreneurship mentor. She is a business and an executive coach. She's a facilitator, a senior lecturer, a researcher, a statistician, and a public speaker. So we want to welcome you to the session. Thank you so much again for visiting with us today. And then I also want to welcome our Entrepreneurship Hub members. This session has been arranged for them specifically for Dr. Jabulile to just give them some advice. So without further ado, I'm going to give over to Dr. Jabulile. Thank you so much.
Thank you so much, Mana. I'm going to try to keep my video on, but sometimes the connectivity becomes an issue. If for some reason I'm cutting or you can't hear me clearly, just let me know, and then I'll switch off the video. I'm trying to get the sun here, so I'm hoping it does not make me look like I'm in some cloud or something from the other side. Welcome everybody. Good day. As Mana has introduced me, my name is Jabulile. More than being a senior lecturer at the West Business School, where I teach entrepreneurship and stats and research methodology, I'm also an entrepreneur. I've been in the entrepreneurship space for more than 10 years in different capacities. I've been on the research side, I've been on the practicing side, I've been on the consulting side. So I've done a lot of things within the entrepreneurship space. So what I'm hoping today to achieve today is to share with you a bit on my experience and also some concepts around entrepreneurship, which I hope will be helpful for you. I've heard that most of you already have started some businesses. Some of you are still at a very early stage. But I'm hoping that then this will be beneficial. If you've got a question or anything, don't be afraid to stop me and ask. I'm not sure, Mana, whether should I just do the talk and then questions at the end, or should I allow interaction in between? What do you say?
I think let's give you an opportunity to go through your presentation, and then we can have a Q&A session afterwards. There is a chat box, so if students do have a question during your presentation, they are welcome to put it in the chat box, and we can then address them after your presentation.
Okay, cool.
Perfect.
That works for me. Okay, so I was given a few topics or focus areas to talk through. I'm hoping I'll do justice to that. So I'll first talk about what entrepreneurship is. There's a lot of definitions out there about entrepreneurship and a lot of things about it. And then we'll talk a bit about a successful mindset, what kind of a mindset you need to have, whether you are an entrepreneur or not, what kind of a mindset you need to have to succeed. And then we'll talk about specifically an entrepreneurial mindset, how it looks like, what is it that you need as an entrepreneur. And then we'll talk about the process from the start as an entrepreneur, if you're starting your business, from the start till the end as to what is the process that you need to follow. And then we'll talk a bit about some of the tools that you can use in starting and building your business. I'll share a bit about some of the mistakes that I've made when I started my first business in 2004, and hope that you can learn some few things from the lessons that I've learned then. And also on your side, maybe try to avoid making similar mistakes. You will still make mistakes, but some of them maybe you can avoid them or manage them. So what is entrepreneurship? So everybody talks about entrepreneurship, and even when you look in terms of what is out there, in terms of research, there's a lot of definitions about what entrepreneurship is. Some say is anyone who has started a business. Some say, you need to be innovative. Some say you must have you must be somebody who's not scared of taking risk and those kind of things. But the bottom line is that there's a lot of definitions, but what you will find in those definitions is that there are some commonalities or there's some themes that you can pick up in that kind of like tell you what entrepreneurship is. Okay, so it's basically the ability to detect opportunities of the environment in which we are living and producing dreams from this intuition. Entrepreneurs use a lot of their intuition to identify or recognize these opportunities, but then they don't stop there. More than that, then they convert these dreams into projects, carrying out these projects into application and facilitating the living of people or making people's life a bit easier. That is one of the many definitions that you will find out there. As I said, there are key themes. Those are some of the themes which include risk-taking, a lot of uncertainties, proactiveness. You must be able to take initiative, recognize and exploit opportunities. You must be somebody who's confident because it's a very unknown and uncomfortable space to work with, to work within. So if you are not a confident person, then you will find yourself wanting. You have to be able to make a judgment, see opportunities and make a quick judgment. You must be somebody who's innovative and be able to use that to make profit out of it and follow your intuition. And you need to be always be somebody who most of the time, not always motivated, because you need to always pick yourself up and motivate yourself and be able to go on, because there's a lot of challenges that comes with being an entrepreneur. So if you are not motivated, then you are not going to make it. The one important thing about entrepreneurship is that it's multidimensional. So if you are an entrepreneur, it's not only the business that you have to worry about. You have to worry about yourself. You have to worry about the business. You have to worry about the environment where you work in. Just need to close this noise. So you've got multiple things that you need to make sure that you can manage. So you need to be somebody who's open-minded, who's broad, who can see a bigger picture than focusing on one thing. You need to be able to work on a lot of things at the same time, especially at the beginning of at the start of your business, where you are still the only person. You have to manage all the departments of your business. You need to be the CEO, the operations manager. You need to be everything. And that require a certain type of a person to be able to do that. So as a person, you become the most important thing in this whole entrepreneurship process. So you need to have certain qualities and have a certain mindset that will carry you through, and then be able to understand what you are doing in the business in terms of the operations. You need to understand the numbers, you need to market the business, and all this needs to be done by you as an entrepreneur, because no one else will do it for you. But more than that, you need to manage the environment. You need to be cognizant of what is happening in your surroundings. Otherwise, if you are not cognizant of what is happening in your surroundings, then you find yourself taking risks that are not necessary, or you find your business failing without you being even aware that your business has started failing or is in the process of failing. So where does this whole thing start? So it starts from you identifying a problem that needs to be solved. we grew up in an environment where most of the time we think starting a business is about your technical skills, is about a product, or is about what you are able to do. But more than that, there has to be a gap, there has to be a problem, there has to be something that people are looking for that you are able to do. Otherwise, your business then does not become sustainable if then you are not solving a real problem that people are looking for a solution for. So the first thing, you have to identify what is the gap in the like the current versus the desired conditions. Can I come up with a product or a service that will fulfill that need so that we move to the desired conditions? What are the inefficiencies that maybe you can come up with a product or a service for, that you can make sure that then you address that? So normally when you are an entrepreneur, when we are entrepreneurial, when people are complaining, when people are frustrated, when people are experiencing challenges, when people are experiencing some pains, or even yourself, when you experience those frustrations, all you see opportunities. So, and that's how you differentiate entrepreneurs. When everybody else is complaining, they see opportunities. They are always thinking about the solutions. They are always thinking about what can I do. They never put it to an external party somewhere that somebody else must resolve issues. But whenever they see an issue, it becomes a thing that says, what can I do to solve this problem? And that's what entrepreneurs are all about. And those are the questions you need to start asking yourself. Am I entrepreneurial enough? Do I have what it takes to take me there, to run a successful business? And if the answer is no, what can you do to make sure that you position yourself in a way that you can be a successful entrepreneur? And that's the first step. Then now you start looking at the world with different eyes. You start looking for problems, not to complain. You look for problems to solve them. And that is the mindset that as an entrepreneur you need to have. The nice thing about entrepreneurship, there's a big argument as to whether entrepreneurs are born or they are made. You can learn entrepreneurship. As much as there are certain things that develops in you over time, but you can learn it. And if you can learn it, you start by the orientation. You orientate yourself around to say, what is it that I need to have? How do I need to look like? What kind of training do I need to go through so that I can be a successful entrepreneur? And the starting point is the mindset. When you see problems, what do you see? Do you just see problems to complain about, or do you see opportunities that you can bring business in? You can come up with a solution and make money out of that while you are helping people. There's this theory that I like a lot when you talk about mindset in general, which you will find generally as people, we tend to focus a lot on things that people can see. But the mindset is really not there. It's not about what people can see. It's mostly about what we can see. And normally your mindset is built on your beliefs, your values, your thinking, your emotions, and all that. And that is what leads to you behaving and seeing things in a certain way. So you have to start asking yourself, what are my beliefs? Do I believe I can be successful? Do I believe I can build a business? Do I believe I'm an entrepreneur? What do I always think about? What do I spend most of my time thinking about? Am I thinking about problems for other people to solve? Or am I thinking about problems that I can solve? And that's where it starts. So if you look at this iceberg, it's a very popular framework that a lot of people talk about, that there is the stuff that is under the sea that nobody sees. And nobody tends to get bothered about them because they are invisible. But the stuff that we don't see is the stuff that makes us do what people see. It is the stuff that makes us behave in a certain way. It is stuff that makes us deliver certain outcomes. It's the stuff that makes us perform in a certain way. And those are the things that as an entrepreneur, if you want to be a successful entrepreneur, You need to start interrogating your beliefs, the things you spend a lot of time thinking about, how you feel about certain things, what are your values, and start asking yourself, are those things going to take you towards being a successful entrepreneur, or are they not going to help you there? And then start working on that and start changing them. So I thought before I talk about the mindset of the entrepreneur, let me just talk about the mindset in general to say, how do you make sure that you've got the mindset? Because it's not magic, it's not automatic, it's something intentional. You have to make the decision to say, am I thinking about the things that are going to take me to where I want to get to? And some of the things that really, in terms of thinking, that you will find about entrepreneurs is that they're not realistic people. So they normally say realistic people don't big things, because they always see why not, why can't it be done, why is it impossible, and those kind of things. But when you are an entrepreneur, you're always optimistic. You always believe in your skills. You always believe in your abilities. And sometimes you even overestimate yourself. But those are the things that makes you to run a successful business, because if you believe in yourself, if you are optimistic, if you are sometimes unrealistic about what you can achieve, you think you can achieve more than what you can do, those are the things that are slowly, step by step, little by little, going to take you to where you want to get to. So start assessing your beliefs, and some of the things that are sitting in your subconscious mind, and ask yourself, are these things going to take me to where I want to get to? Are these things going to make me a successful entrepreneur? What is it that I need to change so that I can be a successful entrepreneur? There's a quote that says a lot of time, we are kind of like, our behaviors are guided or are led or are controlled by what sits in our subconscious mind, and we keep on seeing the same results or same behaviors, and we wonder why, but it's because we don't check our subconscious mind. And they say, until you bring what sits in your subconscious mind in your conscious mind, you will never be able to address it. The confidence issues that sitting in your subconscious mind, the low esteem sitting in your subconscious mind, all those things will hinder you from becoming a successful entrepreneur. And therefore, you need to start doing a lot of reflection, and start asking yourself, how do I change my thinking? What do I need to do to change my thinking? What do I need to start thinking about? What do I need to start talking about? What do I need to start reading so that I can change my mindset, so that I set myself for success? Some of the characteristics that will make you see that somebody's got an entrepreneurial mindset is the risk-taking, your level of tolerance for ambiguity, because there's nothing guaranteed with entrepreneurship. Everything is unknown. Your high energy level, you need a lot of energy, because you will not run a successful company if you don't have the energy. You need to be very, very energetic to be able to achieve a lot of things. Your creativity, your innovation, you need to think big, dream big, have passion. Whatever that you are trying to do in your business, don't just do it for the money. Don't just do it for the sake of doing it. Be passionate about it, because when you've got those times where there's no money coming, your passion will carry you. But if you don't have passion for what you are doing, is only for the money, when the money is not coming, then you give up, then you get tired, and then you leave it, and only to find that you were about to succeed. So I'm not going to talk to each and every point on the slide. I'll share the slides with Marna, then you can be able to look at some of these things. But those are just some of the things that I wanted to highlight, that you need to be a very independent person who's very resourceful. Take initiative, because when you run your own business, you've got no boss who will ask you whether you have finished to do what you planned to do. So you have to manage. You are the manager of your own life. No one else manages you. You put the vision, you run it, you make sure that it happens until you get to that point where you can employ other people to assist you. So these are some of the things of a person, characteristics of a person who has an entrepreneurial mindset. So more than having the mindset, let's say you've got the mindset, you have the entrepreneur, then now you want to start your business, or you have started the business. What are some of the things to look at, to think about in the process that you can kind of like follow to say, to check, have I done this, have I done this, have I done this? First, as I said in the definition, you need to be able to recognize business opportunities. And after we have recognized the business opportunity, you need to be able to exploit them. What do I mean by business opportunity? That problem that you see, that you know you can solve, that problem that you know you've got the skills to develop, manufacture, or produce a product or a service for, that is a business opportunity. The complaints that you hear people every day, that is the business opportunity. The things that are supposed to work in a certain way that are not working, that is a business opportunity. And you have to be alert, entrepreneurially alert, to be able to see those things as business opportunities. Obviously, you're gonna need the resources. So you have identified the opportunity. You have to be able to think about what the resources, more than just my skills, am I going to need to be able to get this to work and to make it a successful business. You need to market, you need to sell your product, you need to sell your business, you need to sell your brand, and first you need to believe it yourself so that you can be able to sell it to other people. And then you need to be able to package it in a way that people will like it, produce the product that people can use, that will work, and that people are looking for. And then you build your organization. And if there are any other community work or whatever that you need to respond to, then you respond to. But just to emphasize as an entrepreneur myself, is that there are textbooks, there's research that has been done that talks about entrepreneurship. It will give you idea in terms of the process and those kind of things. But what you will find most of the time is that these things tend to be written after people have observed entrepreneurs do things and then they document them. It does not necessarily mean that your journey will follow exactly the same sequence. But because you've got the knowledge that says what is the process, then you can use that knowledge to start to kind of like understanding and be able to double check the things that you are doing to see that you are on the right track. So if, for an example, after you've located a business opportunity, then you find yourself already marketing your business without accumulating the resources that you need, enough that you need. There's nothing wrong with that, but we are aware of it that at some stage, I will need capital, I will need a building, I will need machines, I will need that. So these processes or these things that we share help you to have a perspective, but it does not necessarily mean that step by step you have to do everything as is written in the textbook, because everybody's entrepreneur journey is unique and it evolves. So as you run your business, some of the things you become aware that, okay, I need to do that first, I need to do that first, and those kind of things. So you need to be very flexible as an entrepreneur. One of the tools that I would like to share that I found very good when you are starting a business or your business is still very new is tools that I use a lot in when you follow the Lean Startup principle. What the Lean Startup principle really says is that when you run the business, when you are starting a business, you want to be as lean as practically possible. You want to cut all the fat. So you don't want to spend too much money at the beginning unnecessary if you can be able to run lean up to a certain point so that we are able to do more with little. Because most of the time what you find with us entrepreneurs is that when we start businesses, normally we don't have a lot of resources. So you have to bootstrap. And the Lean Startup principle helps you with that so that you can be able to run lean. I'm not going to go through the business model canvas. Some of you probably have heard about it already, but it's a tool that you can use. And what it helps you with, if you were to compare it to the business plan, is that it is lean itself. It's a tool that is lean. You can be able to sit in one go and plan your business and have an idea what's going to happen in your business, because it's one chart. You can put down everything that you're going to be doing, your operations, your finances, everything, your marketing in one chart. But the business plan, because it's a more formal document, it takes a bit longer to do it. Sometimes you can end up missing opportunities while you're still busy with a business plan. But this one will allow you to get going very quick. So just check it. I've put some links. If you go on Google and go look for Strategizer or Business Model Canvas, there's a lot of those tools and guidance in terms of how you can use them. If you are not using it already, but it helps a lot with thinking through your business and putting it down and changing it as it changes. Because one of the things about business is that what you think works today might not necessarily be what works tomorrow. So you want to have a tool that allows you to be flexible, to change as things changes, but without you losing focus. So this is one of the tools that I'm proposing that you look at, the business model canvas and the value proposition canvas. The business model canvas will help you with your operations, planning the whole business, how you're going to run it, what's going to happen on a day-to-day basis, and those kind of things. And then the value proposition canvas will help you to put together a proposition for your customer and to study your customer, do a bit of research and understand your customer, so that as you design your value proposition and your product, you've got a clear picture who's the customer that you are targeting, what they are looking for, and those kind of things. And then you can be able to make sure that what the customer is looking for and what you are proposing is aligned, so that you don't get out there in the market and find that you spend a lot of time developing a product or a service that people are not necessarily looking for. So the value proposition canvas helps you with that, doing your customer discovery and customer development, using it to understand your customer and come up with something that works. Okay, I hope you are still with me. So just to share a bit about maybe some of the mistakes that I made when I started my business, which I hope can help you. Normally, when you start, you will start running as solo until you get to a certain point, your business start growing, unless you've got co-founders, until you get to a point where you start feeling that, I can't manage, maybe I need a person, other people to help me with that, and those kind of things. Don't employ people because they are your friends. That's one of the big mistakes I made when I started my business. Don't employ people because you see that they need a job, they are hungry, and then you want to help them, because that does not necessarily mean that when they get to your business, they will want to help you build your business. Employ people, even if whether they are your friends or not, it doesn't matter. But employ people because they've got the skills that you need. They've got what will help your business grow. Whether you like the person or you don't like the person, don't let that blind you and end up employing your friends that are going to get there and not help you build. And sometimes the Ubuntu in us always want to help. You see a friend or a family member or whatever who's struggling and say, if I give him a job, this person, then it will help his family or whatever. But that does not necessarily that they will appreciate the job and get there and do the work. So don't work as if you are a big corporate. Check people properly. And if a person is not working, check why they're not working. If they've worked before, they got fired or whatever, check properly why that happened, so that you don't find yourself with a problem. One of the biggest challenges that you're going to have when you start a business is to find your first customer. Because everybody you market to, they will ask you, who have you serviced before? Can you give us references and those kind of things? Don't get discouraged. That is one of the most difficult thing to do. By the day you get the breakthrough, you get 2-3 clients, that's the day. And when you get the client, treat the client like, I don't know what, value the client, because a word of mouth is the cheapest marketing you'll ever get in a small business. So when you get that breakthrough and you get that first client, make sure that you treat them well so that they market for you. They tell other people about how good your services are. The other biggest challenge that you're going to have is self-discipline, motivation. You're gonna be broke. You need to go through all those processes, taking care of your health, because sometimes running a business when things are not going right, it can be very taxing. And that might become one of the biggest challenges, to make sure that you are sane and that you are still able to run your business. Look after the money. Don't get excited when you get a big order, because cash flow is key in a business. Get too excited too early, you get recession, you get pandemics and all those kind of things, you find that you don't have reserve to keep you going. We all have 24 hours. You have to be very, very careful how you manage your time. If you don't manage it well, you are not going to make it, because running a business or building a business requires a lot of time. Enjoy failure. It's not fun. Try to enjoy it. It's part of the game. The day you make peace with it, that failure is going to be part of this process. You fail today, you succeed tomorrow. You fail today, you succeed tomorrow. If you don't make peace with failure, then don't be an entrepreneur, because it's going to destroy you. You are going to fail. They say everything in entrepreneurship is unknown, is not guaranteed, but the only thing that is guaranteed is that you are going to fail during that process, and you have to be comfortable with that. It's not nice, it's painful, but you have to be comfortable. Make sure that you're not fussy about things that are not of value. If there are people who can help you, if there are people who want to be part of the business or maybe take equity or whatever, be open to that. Because I always say 10% of 50 is better than 100% of nothing. Don't hold on to 100% of your company until it's worth nothing, because you are not getting what you need, the support that you need. So be open to that. Don't take for granted industry, understanding the industry you are in. You have to keep yourself up to date with what is happening. Otherwise, you're going to start a business that requires something that is about to be extinguished or something like that. So always be aware of what is happening in the industry you're working in. If things are moving more digital, don't be starting something that moves the opposite direction. So always be aware what is happening, pay attention, so that you stay in the time, you don't waste money doing things that you find that in a few weeks you have to change them. I think in terms of the lesson, I've covered some of these things in terms of people you employ, in terms of making sure that you don't make stupid mistakes, make sure you skill yourself and all that, because mistakes in business are very expensive. Make decisions. Don't be scared to make decisions, because sometimes when you are slow to make business decision, it means you have missed business opportunities. So you have to be able to make decisions fast. Know your numbers. Most of the small business owners outsource 100% of their accounting side to accountants. You need to get your accountant to sit you down and make you understand the key things in your business. You need to understand what comes in, what goes out. You need to understand cash flow. They might forgive you for balancing the balance sheet and those kind of things, but you need to understand the day-to-day monies in your business. Otherwise, failure is going to be a surprise to you. More than anything else, these days, life in business is not only about competition. You have to be open to partner with other people. You have to be open to collaborate. You have to allow yourself to get support, get a coach for yourself, get a mentor for yourself, so that you don't make unnecessary stupid mistake. We all learn every day. But if you close yourself and do everything solo, you're going to make mistakes and feel drained. While you can get support, you can work with other people, and be able then to get the help you need and go faster. And also, especially when your business starts growing, not every time that when you start growing, you need to employ people. Sometimes you need to start collaborating and work on an outsourcing model first until you are comfortable that you've got consistent growth, so that you don't go out and spend a lot of money for growth and only to find it was just seasonal. So you need to be able to work with other people. And that's the trend these days. People collaborate. Not everybody is your competitor. Your competitor, other people are there to work with you, support you, and grow with them. Lastly, stay connected to your source, because you're going to need the strength, you're going to need your energy. If you are a Christian, stay connected to your God, pray, and make sure that you get the strength, because it can sometimes be draining. The thing about entrepreneurship is that most of the things happen in extremes. When you make money, you make a lot of money. When you lose it, you lose a lot of it. And if you don't have a where you draw your source of, you don't have a source of strength where you draw from, it might sometimes be detrimental to your own health, and it might destroy you. So you need to have the right support structure, the right friends, and make sure that you are connected to the source so that you keep energized all the time. Okay, that is me talking for 20 minutes. I hope you are still there.
Thank you so much, Lily. That's really some valuable information and tools for our future entrepreneurs. So guys, we are going to open the floor up for any questions. If you do have a question, please raise your hand, or you are welcome to put it in the chat box and we will address it. So there was a request earlier asking if the recording will be made available or the PowerPoint presentation. Yes, I will make the recording available on our MyLMS platform, so you guys will be able to access it there. We just have a comment. Wow, that was awesome. Thank you. Thank you so much, Luca. It was really a valuable session. Alwanda, your hand's up. You can go ahead.
Okay, so hi, thank you so much for coming in today. I wanted to ask, as someone who doesn't have experience and I'm young, you don't have access to a lot of resources, right? And you can't ask your parents because I'm young, but I'm still an adult. So what I wanted to ask was, how can you start a business from nothing?
Yeah, so I think Luanda, you need to really think about skills you have, how you can use the skills you have, try to get some resources, look at people that you can partner with, that can help with certain things that you don't have to pay for. For an example, I've got young people that help me with certain things in my business, and not for me to really pay them, but to help them with other things in their businesses, because they don't have the money to pay for that. So I will say to them, okay, help me with this admin and that, then I will help you with that and that kind of a thing. So you look for relationships like that, where you can see, okay, that person has got that skill, and at this moment, let's say you want to do a logo. You don't have money to pay for a logo, but you know a friend who knows how to make logos. And then you can negotiate with that person to say, what do you need? I can do this for you, and those kind of things. And more than that, also keep an eye. Make sure you connect on social media these days. There's a lot of information. Be on social media and make sure you connect with the right organizations. There's a lot of organizations, youth organizations, entrepreneurs, and those. There's a lot of competitions, funds, and those. Make sure you are out there in social media. Connect with all the different government and private organizations that support entrepreneurs, and leverage from those, because not everything you have to pay for. and leverage from those and see how you can little by little use that to move you one step forward. And then from there, you will see, don't have to take big steps. You will see bit by bit that we are moving. And then as you move, you get also the capacity to be able to do other things yourself. And don't be lazy. Do things for other people. Let them pay you, even if you're an entrepreneur outside your business, and use the money then to do things in your business.
Does that answer your
I
question?
hope that answers.
Okay, yes, thank you.
Thank you so much. There's another question from Edgar in the chat box. What do you do as an entrepreneur? I don't know, Edgar, if you can maybe clarify exactly what you mean with that question exactly. Edgar, are you able to unmute?
Marna, I think you meant that what does Dr. Jabulile do as an entrepreneur? That's how I understood it.
Oh, okay. Okay. Dr. Jabulile.
Oh, you mean what my business is about? Oh, okay. So yeah, so I've got a consulting company. So I provide the support for entrepreneurs, mentorship, and then also I work with some of the ED and ESD as strategic partners where we do research, and I assist with data analysis. I'm also a statistician, so I'll assist them with data analysis and research in producing some of the SMME reports that you read out there. And also I do coaching, but coaching mostly I do for executives and professionals, personal development, career-wise, leadership development, and those kind of things. And then also one of the things I do as a give back is in terms of supporting young people and entrepreneurs in general. I do online conversations where we've got, like, I'll invite different speakers to come and share their journeys, their experiences, and then other people then join in live on Facebook or LinkedIn and YouTube, and then get to learn from there. So we used to do networking sessions, breakfast before COVID, face to face, and then when COVID started, to online. But you can go check online. That is part of what I do. You can go check me online, and then you'll be able to read more about some of the things that I do.
Thank you so much. Another question regarding mentoring. How does one go about finding it?
Okay, so mentoring, it depends what you are looking for. You're looking for the one pro bono, or you're looking for to pay for. There's organizations that I know that do provide coaching for SMMEs or entrepreneurs free. If you check maybe some of the incubators and some of the government institutions, if you go just on Google, you'll find a lot of them. And then in terms of also more than just finding the places where you can get mentoring, there's individual ones like myself where we do outside formal platforms where you can approach me and say, I'm looking for mentorship, and then we look at what we are looking for, and then we take it from there. But more than that, also you need to know why you're looking for the mentor, because you need to be able, there are some people who do it to give as a give back, that they will do it for you for free. But I do both. There's those that I do for free as a giving back, and then there's those that I do formally because that's part of my business. But you need to know why you are looking for the mentor, because it's important that you identify. Sometimes look at people, study them, what have they done, and then from there you can decide then as to what is it that you want. Do you think that person will be able to help you in the way or in what you're looking for? And then if the person, let's say you are in okay, I got cut off there.
We can
you hear me?
Yes, we can still hear you. Thank you. Can you hear us?
Okay, so yes, I can hear you. I'm not sure where I was, but let me try. Yeah, so I was talking about identifying the right mentor for yourself, so that you don't ask somebody to mentor you and only to find that you are not aligned, and then you are not able.
Dr. Jabulile, I think we lost you there again. Let's just give a minute or so to see if she's going to come back. I see there's 2 more questions in the chat box. I will ask her to address those as soon as she returns. If there's any other questions, please do put them in the chat box, and we will get her to give feedback on those. This is your opportunity to get feedback from an expert in the industry. Okay, let me just reach out to her. We will commence in that.
Okay. Then hear me now. I try to move places to see if I can find a better spot.
Okay, there we can hear you again.
Okay. So I was still answering the question about identifying or finding a mentor or a coach that fits what you're looking for or aligned with your goals. So you need to do your homework very well.
Okay, thank you very much. So we have another question. What is the mentality behind how you would approach pivoting? Did you hear that question, Dr. Jabulile?
Oh, yes, I had it. So I switched off my video, just hoping it improves the connectivity because you were cutting off a bit. Okay, so the pivoting question, what is the mentality behind how you will approach pivoting? So pivoting, if you follow the lean startup principle, really is that it's you don't want to spend a lot of money at the beginning without testing your assumptions. So if you are manufacturing a physical product, you want to do the minimum viable product so that you can go use that and test with it and see if it's ideal, and then iterate, and then if you need to pivot, and then you pivot for that. I think it's a good thing depending on what you are selling. If you are selling a service, you can afford to go full on with it because you generally are sometimes not required to spend a lot of money on it. But if it's a physical product where you need to spend a lot of money on it, and then it becomes very important to follow that lean startup principle cycle of the product, you produce the product, you go test with the customer. After testing with the customer, you make the changes that you need to make changes, and then you go through that until you're happy with the product. So voting is a good thing. That's my I think my mentality or my thinking around it. It's a good thing if especially if you're gonna spend a lot of money.
Well, I hope that answers your question. Thank you so much, Dr. Jabulile. I think we've got one last question before we end off the session. What would you say is the biggest lesson you took or are taking from COVID-19 as an entrepreneur?
Yeah, it's a big one. I think it's be agile. Don't be married to your business. Like if you had a business that has made you money for years, and when COVID happened, then it changed the dynamics around the business. What I learned is that people who were quick enough or flexible enough to adapt and change and look at a different business model are those who succeed. Their likelihood of succeeding was better because they moved quick and changed their business model to fit the current situation. So the biggest thing for me is be agile. Don't be too married to what has worked for you for years. If pandemics happen, it has changed a lot of things for us, and be willing to change and move with the times. And what worked yesterday does not necessarily mean it will work tomorrow. Be always open and just be agile and make decisions quick as well.
Thank you so much. I think really sound advice there. Dr. Jabulile, there's no more questions, but I just want to thank you once again for taking the time and speaking to our students. It was really a valuable lesson. So thank you so much for the time you took out of your busy schedule. Okay, so guys, thank you so much for everybody for joining. We will make the recording available on our MyLMS platform if you want to refer back to the discussion points that was covered during the session. And thank you so much, everybody, for joining. Have a lovely afternoon.
Thank you very much for inviting.